To defeat an enemy, you must know them. Not just their battle tactics, but their history, philosophy, art. Welcome to the Chiss Ascendancy podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to
the Chiss Ascendancy.
a little longer, drawn-out intro there.
It's time.
5 rounds. It is episode 124, if you can believe that. Last time was 123, if you can remember that far back.
Weird.
We do this weird thing where sometimes we number the episodes when we're talking about random stuff, like a review of a trailer or something, and sometimes we don't. So, I guess because I flew solo, that was the big difference.
Yeah, I was out of town.
So
Sorry.
we did the General Grievous episode a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Last week, the main focus was watching and breaking down the trailer, which you were gone for. And so that's why this episode is what you're now listening to, watching, enjoying is episode 124. And we're titling this one Embo Strikes Back. Obviously, the joke is Empire Strikes Back is everyone's favorite Star Wars movie, and we just changed Empire for Embo.
Yeah, that's a deep cut there.
It's pretty-
Real high.
Only real fans know about the
highbrow
Empire Strikes
humor
Back.
here. Hard. We're reaching.
That's after a long day at the car dealership joke. You know, that's I'm trying to cross the finish line there. The work day. I'm exhausted, cramping up in my work glutes.
Monkey never cramp.
But
Have you seen that interview?
nope.
There's a Japanese baseball player. I forget his name.
Oh yeah.
He's
It's
like,
cramp.
monkey never cramp.
Bananas,
Eat
you have
banana every
much
day.
less cramp.
No cramp.
So we're focusing on Embo today. Just really quick going through the trailer with you. What were your thoughts overall? We talked about it a little bit, but obviously our friends listening to us have not.
So,
Your hopes for the movie before the trailer were not very high.
I always try to reduce my expectations so that I'm never disappointed.
Complete opposite of me. I think everything's
You
going to be a 10 out of 10.
You put everything so high, and I think you're more disappointed more frequently than I am.
That's fair.
So I try
Dad says
to.
if you aim low, you won't miss.
Yeah, an unaimed arrow never misses.
Yep.
So I just never aim. I just let that baby go. Trailer.
Scale of 1 to 10 before the trailer. How excited were you? Scale of 1 to 10 after the trailer.
So I guess the thing is I kind of have to weigh expectations and excitement based on I would like to obviously get another full season of content because we're looking at more like 5 hours as opposed to the 2.5 hours we're probably going to get.
Which we are getting a 4th season of The Mandalorian. That's
Are
already
we?
been confirmed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
I thought that because Peaky Blinders is doing like a movie, they're going to end the series that way with a film.
yeah,
I
think
last I had heard, I
Yeah.
guess the expectation was that they were going to do a film and that was going to kind of close out the story. Okay, so that's been redirected. Interesting. I guess I'm not as worried now, but the movie looked definitely like they were trying to be more mass appeal. You know what I mean? Like the trailer seemed a little bit silly, a little bit, I don't know, more family oriented as opposed to like if you watch the very first scene of the first episode of the first season of The Mandalorian, it's very Western kind of nitty gritty. He cuts a man in half with a door.
yes.
I don't think we're going to get much of that Mandalorian, which is the show that I really,
Which is the one you want.
which is what I fell in love with. Right.
Right.
But I guess all that to kind of lead into what we want to talk about today. I was not at all surprised to see that Embo was going to be featured in the film because it's kind of a Dave Filoni project.
Right.
He's a Dave Filoni favorite character.
Yes.
So
obviously
cool hat.
Embo is Dave's favorite bounty hunter, and he voices Embo in the Clone Wars. So if you didn't know that, Dave Filoni, the director, now kind of the Mr. Star Wars
Yeah.
of things, is the voice for Embo.
Dr. Starwars.
And so on a scale of 1 to 10, you were what, like a 4 or 5 going before the trailer?
Probably like a healthy 6.5.
And then after trailer.
A nice just passing grade. More like a 6 probably. I don't know.
Less excited.
Well, I don't know if it's just I think it's just going to be a little bit more bubbly, silly, friendly than I would want. I want kind of a nitty gritty, like I kind of want what the like Wolverine movie was for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You know what I mean? I kind of want my dark film.
It does feel like Star Wars is like, I know we've always, you've always heard George say it's for kids, but I agree that Marvel has those movies out there that are for the adult fan.
Yeah.
Like obviously everybody takes their kids to the theater or whatever, but like if you ask them, Deadpool is a movie for adults.
Right.
If you take your kids, that's your problem.
Yeah.
Logan, same thing.
Yeah.
I can see what you're saying. I know that
like if I had hopes for kind of a like you get some really dark stuff from the novels, and especially like I'm just now finishing up again the Bane trilogy for like probably the 4th or 5th time. It gets pretty heavy. You know what I mean? And we never really get that, I don't think.
You remember when whenever he makes, I think the healer's name is Caleb, he like shoves his hand into the freaking boiling.
Yeah. The stew just to show that he couldn't be tortured.
Yeah.
Freaking baller.
Yeah,
move,
that's
dude.
that's
well, I guess, we kind of get that stuff in Andor where he's like, sorry, just got to get my gloves, and just like ganks this dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That was actually in
or that was Rogue One.
That was in Rogue One.
But you know what I mean?
But like, Andor does.
Yeah.
The crazy thing in Andor that was like, it got me so like, I wasn't excited to see someone killed, obviously, but I was excited for the fact that Star Wars was showing us what real life is like.
Yeah.
In the scene where you have Luthen Rael's monologue about,
so good.
What am I doing? Everything.
Yeah.
I'm sacrificing everything. There's that monologue that's like maybe the best monologue in Star Wars history, to be honest with you.
It's way up there. And then coupled with Luthen's probably coolest ever solo ship exploit, where he absolutely bamboozles and shreds the Imperial blockade to get out of where he's at.
Yep. So the guy that he's talking to with the redheaded guy with the mustache,
who he also kills.
That's the scene I'm referencing.
Yeah.
That's like a really heavy, realistic, dark Star Wars.
Yeah.
And we were hoping to get some of that.
And I think
the issue is a strong word. The hindrance to getting a nitty gritty dark Mandalorian is Grogu.
Yeah, I think Grogu has been like the silent Jar Jar Binks of this Star Wars generation, where he's like, he does some cool, powerful, impactful, emotional things, right? Like when he intercepts the Mudhorn, or he just there are moments, but a lot of the time I feel like he more serves as comedic relief, even though he's supposed to be the driving central point of kind of the connection between the natural universe and the force-driven objectives of Star Wars is what I would think of it as, where, Ahsoka's kind of doing the undercurrent, Luke's now trying to reinstitute the Jedi Order. I mean, you got things that I think should be considered a little bit heavier, a little bit more serious, at least in my mind. And I feel like Grogu has maybe been a little bit too much of a comedic crutch. You know what I mean? He's eating a lot of frogs. He's touching a lot of buttons he shouldn't be touching. And he's just a little kid, but he's, also 15 years old. So grow up.
Yeah. So you're
maybe calling him the silent Jar Jar Binks is a little too.
That is a pretty strong take.
That's a strong hot take, but
the silent Jar Jar Binks. I just remember how like vehemently our dad hated Jar Jar,
which only made me love him all the more. But
so your thing is you want something more heavy, more serious.
I want what Mandalorian started out as, and I feel like it's definitely shifted, in recent seasons to be a little bit more kiddie, family oriented. Which whatever, I'm not in charge of the project, but I was promised a Star Wars spaghetti Western, and I want, gosh darn it, a Star Wars spaghetti Western.
Yeah, you have to realize in the eyes of at least the Disney side of things, more Grogu means more money. So
how much more Mr. Krabs can we get in here?
Yeah. So I understand that. So you're saying that your excitement for the film regressed after the trailer.
I just think that the tone they were taking isn't necessarily the tone I wanted.
Wow. That's shocking. I'm almost glad I did a breakdown by myself because I was all excited about it. You would have been peeing in my Cheerios.
Yeah, I've been,
so
doing it.
the super battle droid behind the Hutt twins did nothing for you?
I mean,
It's a super battle droid. They're super.
yeah, they are super duper. Super duper, Dad.
Multiple Hutts.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen the Hutt Council. It's nothing really shocking. You have to assume they're still in power.
Well, I guess what I mean to say is if in 2010 you told me that as an adult I'd be taking my 2 oldest sons to see a Star Wars movie and there were going to be at least 3 Hutts on screen, I would have been.
I mean, we got 2 Hutts
bamboozled.
in 1999.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah. We
You
also
had
had Greg
Jabba-
Proops, one of the featured guests on Whose Line Is It Anyway,
Yeah.
commentating on
That's
Star Wars
Kiara.
NASCAR.
Yeah.
So, a lot of things to weigh in on.
I see what you're saying. I think that we've got a little
Maybe I'm spoiled. I don't know.
we're a
I
little
just,
Star Wars spoiled, I think, sometimes.
I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to love it. I'm going to watch it more than once.
Yeah.
It's freaking, they've got me. Okay.
I'm just
a lifelong
surprised-
fan. I just want something. Something a little moody, I want this latest The Batman film,
But for Star Wars.
I want to hear some Nirvana soundtrack in there.
Yeah. I understand your point. I guess I was just
away.
I was surprised that you were less excited after said trailer,
Yeah, a little bit.
which is that's
I,
crazy
again,
to me.
again, well, because I set my expectation. I'm so even. It's hard to get me really excited. It's hard to get me really sad.
What do you think about the little snake freaking the little snaky looking guy that talks to Grogu that everybody's kind of wondering who that is? The guy that looks like Yoda's master.
Yeah, bearded snake guy.
Nope.
We're not talking about bearded snake guy.
We're not talking about Operances.
Operances.
No, we're talking about
Yariel Poof.
we're talking about the guy that people wonder is Nikado del Gormo.
I thought that was a Spanish director of horror films.
Nope, that's Benicio del Toro. No, Benicio del Toro is the guy from The Last Jedi. You're thinking of Guillermo del Toro. No, look up. Okay, in the trailer, there's a line that is a very strong reference to Yoda. Remember when he says, "Are you scared?" And Grogu goes, "Hmm," and he goes, "You should be."
What's the name of the cat?
The character's name is Nakata, Nkata space Del space Gormo, Gormo.
Forgot the apostrophe, but I'll allow it. Yes, Abe Lincoln from Hellboy.
Yeah, Ape Sapien. So this was a alien character that was basically drawn by. They actually did a long time ago that it was either Star Wars Insider or a Star Wars magazine. I can't remember what year it was from, but they did a design your own alien kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And this was actually drawn and sent in by somebody. So I guess that's why it looks like he's on Dagobah, because they probably took
Right.
inspiration from The Empire Strikes Back.
Right.
Concept is this was purely legends, but in the recent canon novel, The Glass Abyss, which features Mace Windu, at the very, very end of the book, they make mention of one of Yoda's masters early in his Jedi career, Nakata del Gormo.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I mean, that would be cool. I think there's going to be cool stuff.
there's going to be cool
There's
stuff.
going to be cool stuff.
Here's my question to you, and we'll move on to this episode of the Clone Wars that we watched to kind of get a reminder of how badass Embo is.
He's pretty cool. He's a pretty cool guy.
We were I forgot what I was going to say.
Oopsie poopsie.
Okay, here's the concept. All right. You're worried that it's going to be too kiddie,
Mm-hmm.
too silly goosey. Grogu is in his 50s at this point to some degree.
Which, you have to assume is like 10, 11 years old.
Yeah.
He should be verbal by now.
So you're kind of making my point here. Yoda, legend has it, was beginning to train other Jedi by the ripe old age of 100 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So there's got to be at some point some type of rapid movement forward in their development. So
Perhaps.
I wonder, I kind of talked about this in the trailer breakdown a little bit, but Do you think at all that we see Grogu take a leap forward in his personal development, force abilities, things like that, kind of awaken something in him that sets him up for future success? Because you can't as Disney and as Star Wars and Lucasfilm and all them, you can't just have Grogu be the child for the next 20 years and he doesn't develop at all. That's going to run. It's already run its course with several people. Like you've said that. I heard Star Wars Theory talk about the same thing. He's sick of the cuteness. We want something more serious.
Yeah, I'm over the cuteness. I went down with the sickness. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So you're thinking that there's some sort of like, trying to think of a good parallel. You ever have like a thought and it's like on the edge of your mind, and you're like, can I get a hold of that?
Yeah.
Can I reel that in? It's right there. Well, you wouldn't know this. I guess we can use Aragon as a parallel because we've both seen that and read that, where Saphira has like magical growths.
Right.
Where she just like is 10 feet longer all of a sudden.
Right.
So you're supposing that there's some sort of mental, because he's not going to get that much bigger.
He won't get that much bigger.
He'll like double in size, but.
Yeah. I'm wondering if this movie is going to be about the maturing and growth of Grogu as an individual, whether that's as a Jedi or just a person or a Mandalorian, because the Mandalorian lacks depth.
The character or the show?
Yes, the character.
Okay.
Din Djarin, they've tried for 3 seasons, and the only thing that he seems to care about is Grogu and his safety, which I totally understand as a dad. Well, I guess what I mean is,
what else has he got going for him? Is that what you're saying?
No, it's not like what does he have going for him. It's just
he's got like cool blasters and sweet armor.
I guess my point is like,
I've put more thought into where does he get another ship from than all the things that you're asking me.
What my point is that Din is kind of shallow as a character.
Yeah, I think that's because there's just been like
here's Pedro's voice is like so monotone.
Here's my overall take on it. So the overarching theme was I have this kid. He's basically my foster kid at this point. I've got to get him back to his kind, which is a Jedi. And then he gets him back to Luke, and then they both decide they can't be together. It's Home Alone, or sorry,
they can't be apart.
They can't be apart. What's Homeward Bound? It's not Home Alone. It's Homeward Bound. They're trying to get themselves back to center. There's a boxer, there's a golden retriever, there's a cat, yada yada. And now that there's not really any overarching objective, we're kind of floundering. You know what I mean?
So
I feel like the first whole 2 seasons was to get Grogu back to the Jedi, and then season 3, no more with the Jedi. I want to be a Mandalorian. But there hasn't been a lot of investment in what exactly that means for Din and Grogu overall. Like, what's Grogu's trajectory? What's the Mandalorian's trajectory?
Right, that's my point.
Okay.
Yeah. So Grogu, because of who Yoda is, there's already a lot of
expectation
because of the expectation, because of the mysteriousness. Din Djarin is like a less menacing version of original trilogy Boba Fett. Like, he's very monotone. I don't know. I don't want him to die, but I don't feel like
I mean, he's gonna eventually, right?
Yeah. I don't, the point I'm making is that like, he doesn't have a people that he fights with or fights for or a family. Like he's got Grogu, but like,
I feel like the concept of Mandalorian is very fractured at this point.
It's weird because the Children of the Watch, he's like not really hanging out with them very much anymore. And even when, like in the Book of Boba Fett episode that totally derailed the Book of Boba Fett, that was the Mandalorian in the middle of the Book of Boba Fett, which ruined my whole life. When he goes to the Children of the Watch,
that's less of a tragedy than most Vespa. The slowest high-speed chase known to humankind.
At least Boba Fett's in that episode.
Yeah.
The show's called The Book of Boba Fett. The Mandalorian fans would rage if there was an episode of The Mandalorian that had featured Boba Fett heavily and there was no Mandalorian or Grogu in the whole episode.
I'm not fighting you on any of it.
You know what I mean? So my point is, when he goes and visits the armor,
I'm on your side.
it's weird how like she's still teaching him stuff, and then him and Paz Vizsla don't really vibe.
Yeah.
And then whenever Paz, rest in peace, ends up dying on Mandalore, it's like there's a common bond of all the Mandalorians come together to reclaim the planet.
Yeah.
But now we're following freaking Bo-Katan. That should have been Din.
Yeah, I think they were too busy elevating the status of Bo-Katan in the Rebels series, where they're like, oh, well, if it's not Bo-Katan, what have we been keeping her around for all this time? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think it's just the line of succession that had been established. I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
I'm
my
just trying
point
to
would be,
like
let's
get
not
to
let
like
Bo-Katan do it again because she screwed it over multiple times in the past. Let's let somebody else do it.
I'm not fighting you on it.
So I guess my point is, so Din's number one goal in life is to
I guess it at this
he's a
point it
bounty
has
hunter,
to be
which is
like
kind of a lonely existence in general.
I guess at this point it has to be like, how do we now grow Grogu as a Mandalorian? Because you see, you know, in the trailer he's strapping on his little breastplate, and
He's got his
it seems
gauntlet.
like him and Mando are separated. He's got to now be kind of the one in charge, maybe like a supersized version of him rescuing him from the Mudhorn.
Right.
You know, if that's just an allegory for what the relationship's going to turn into. But
Well-
it seems to me they're definitely turning the tempo towards how does Grogu become an individual, because there's the whole little voiceover of he's going to outlive me by several centuries.
Yeah, I won't be around to protect him forever.
So it's like, how do I make him self-sufficient?
So I think that's those little breadcrumbs are hinting towards some type of pretty serious development.
Yeah.
From Grogu.
You would have to
I bet
believe
we get his
so.
first words in this movie.
I don't know. I don't know.
But
I didn't come here to talk about that little green so-and-so. I came here to talk about that green so-and-so.
yeah, all that to say, one of the really cool scenes, if not the coolest scene, was it looks like he's imposing on their home.
So here's my question to
Embo.
you. Do you, in your heart of hearts, consider Embo a good guy or a bad guy? Because if you look at his progression, I put together that series of episodes that he's featured in.
Mm-hmm.
The first 2 or 3, he's pretty good guy as far as you can get with bounty hunters. He's working alongside the Republic. He's helping defend the farmers against Hondo. And then he gets, you know, kind of in a gray area. Maybe he's working kind of in a neutral grouping. And then he's working pretty heavy for the Separatists until in this episode, he's working directly for Palpatine himself.
Yeah, with Sidious.
So where do you consider him on the scale?
I consider him the perfect type of bounty hunter. He's working for whoever pays him the most. He doesn't give a good darn, you know? So
because he works kind of, I don't know.
He doesn't. Whenever you first meet him in the episode that has Hondo and all those guys, he doesn't work with Obi-Wan and Anakin from the jump.
Right.
They meet, and then there's a common ground of protecting the people against the pirates.
But you kind of, I feel like, get maybe a misrepresentation, because there are bounty hunters that are a little bit more friendly oriented, and then there are bounty like, you know, for instance, Asajj. When she starts working as a bounty hunter, she has kind of a stronger moral compass, perhaps, as a bounty hunter.
Ventress?
Yeah. You know, because she's like, oh, well, I've been on the other side of it. I think there's more to it than just taking the credits for the job.
Yeah, I mean, Ventress is, she's bounty hunting because it's something that she can use her skills for that pays the bills.
Right. But
she's
putting that aside,
so
you know what I
deep
mean?
into the Separatist side, or more importantly, the Sith side, that she has kind of a, I mean, she was betrayed. So she realized, oh man, they don't care about me like I thought they would.
But like, putting aside all those nuances, you get what I'm saying. There's a kind of a scale of bounty hunters of maybe more morally enterprising or motivated, as opposed to the bounty hunter who's probably more on the Bosk Boba Fett side.
I think that the vast majority of bounty hunters worth their salt are like Embo.
Yeah.
Nobody that was sent to the box with Moralo Evol is helping people for the greater good. You can pay me back when you can pay me.
Okay. Follow-up question.
Okay.
How hopeful are you that he's going to get better treatment in live action than our boy Cad Bane got?
When you say treatment, like he won't die?
I guess like we're putting him up against someone who kind of has the plot armor. right? So
Embo, if
Cad
he,
Bane, he definitely comes in. He's a little bit malignant. He's just shooting to shoot. It
Mhm.
seems like.
Yeah. So Cad Bane beat Boba Fett to the draw.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't counting on Boba Fett having the gaffy stick,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it's also Boba freaking Fett, the best to ever do it. So it's not like he got beat by, you know, one of the mods that was riding the Vespas.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that Cad's was like short and sweet. I think having him, you know, basically, I think he's alive, but
for
having
the
him
feeling of going for more of a Western,
Mhm.
perfect villain.
Yeah, so in that episode From the Desert,
I
Comes a
wish,
Stranger,
honestly, I wish they would have brought Cad Bane in sooner,
to give him more time.
even just to put him more in Mandalorian space where it was still more geared towards feeling like a Western.
Right.
Because you brought Cad Bane in, or I guess Dave
he's
was
the ultimate Western style
he's the
character.
ultimate black hat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's the ultimate antithesis to Mando.
Yeah.
I think Cad Bane's too good for Mando, honestly. On a scale of...
You mean Cad Bane, the character, is too good for Mando, the show? Or you think Cad Bane pitted against Mandalorian?
It's not fair.
Not fair?
Yep.
Elaborate, elucidate.
I'm not high
expand.
on the Mandalorian.
I know
he's everybody's favorite guy. Every time that he, like in season 1 specifically, he gets his butt handed to him like
multiple
9 times
times.
out of 10.
Yeah.
So like,
he's an everyman. I think that's why people like him.
Right. And that does make him more likable. But like, in my opinion, Prime Boba Fett wipes the floor with Prime Mandalorian. Prime Cad
Is there
Bane,
prep time?
Is there prep time? Yeah, Batman, no shot.
That's super funny.
I mean, we could turn this into a whole bounty hunter episode, but I could probably name you 7 bounty hunters I think could beat Mandalorian in a fight.
I think that's pretty easy, to be honest
prime.
with you. Well, Mando has like, we joke, my friends and I who play online together, we joke about we won a lot of fights because of the power of friendship.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like they're probably better gamers than we are, but they were not anticipating the strength of our bond.
Yeah.
I feel like Mando kind of gets the benefit of that a lot in the show, where
100%.
it's like, oh, well, he made friends with this alien, you know, or
so
for whatever reason, he's got Mandalorians backing him up, so the squids aren't going to get the best of him.
So in a dust up, I would not be, I think the last 1 or 2 would take me some time, but I bet I could get to 10 that I think would
Here's
beat Mando.
something that I'm surprised you're not talking about more. Where do you think we're going to land on the whole mythosaur?
There won't be a mythosaur in this movie, I don't think.
Because that was a pretty big cliffhanger, I feel, from the last few episodes of Mandalorian, where we're encountering a mythosaur for the first time. They're supposed to be extinct.
Well, that's the weird part is like, so
that's a huge thing to me.
Mandalorian.
Right.
That's the name of the show, right? When you think of Mandalorian, if you close your eyes and I said the word Mandalorian before Din Darin was on the scene, you would think of the crest of the mythosaur that was tied to Boba Fett at the time, just because of his armor.
Did I ever tell you about, there was a guy, he was a cashier at Walmart's, that should probably set your tempo for expectations.
Okay.
He had this is before the TV show Mandalorian, he had a Mandalorian, like, you remember when you and I were in high school, everybody had lanyards for their keys?
Yeah.
He had a lanyard.
You put the keys in your pocket and the lanyard stuck
Oh,
out.
yeah. Cool beans.
And you had like cargo shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was freaking sick. We were so cool. He had a Mandalorian lanyard for his keys around his neck. And I was like, oh, cool. Mandalorians? And he's like, Boba Fett. And I was like, well, yeah, but that's the mythosaur. So that's Mandalorian. He's like, I don't know. And I was like, what are you doing?
What do you mean you don't know?
Out here wearing a red scarf trying to pick fights with the Crips out in the streets, my friend. You don't know what you're wearing.
Yeah, you don't know what you're talking about.
So anytime I see the mythosaur, I think about he was very aggressive about it too. And I was
Boba
like,
Fett.
He's like, no, it's Boba Fett. And I was like, who is a
Mandalorian?
Anyway, I really feel like it would be so disappointing to me personally if we don't touch on that a little bit more. Or
well, that's kind of the point I was making earlier about Mandalorian's character is like the Creed and all this other stuff has been very, very important to him. And then they get to Mandalore and they finally win it back over. And I know that it started from the ground up and from the ashes and everything like that. But season 3, the trailer of like, I've got to bathe in the waters below Mandalore because I ruined
redemption
my helmet
time
and stuff like that. Then they take back Mandalore from the Empire, and then he leaves. I'm like, this is like the Great Valley from the Land Before Time. Like, this is where you've been trying to get to all these years. We thought that it was uninhabitable, and it turns out you can work there. You can.
Aladar went ahead, and he found another way to get into the Great Valley.
They beat the Carnotaurs.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
landslide, baby.
I was surprised by that. And again, I thought that Din was kind of, you threw up an alley-oop for him to be the leaders of the Mandalorians because
he'd already won.
He's a foundling. He won the dark saber. He's from humble beginnings. Now he's going to lead these people. I kind of
prefer religious zealot Din Djarin to stepdad Din Djarin.
Yeah. Well, I guess my point would be that
I feel like,
I thought
he has a lot more conviction earlier. Yeah, I think.
I thought he'd stick
Just
around.
Principles.
And if he's on Mandalore, then you get a much better shot of seeing the Mythosaur. I don't think we'll see the Mythosaur in this movie. I would be shocked.
I mean, you're probably right, but it doesn't make me happy about it.
So, okay, off the cuff, 10 bounty hunters in their prime that could beat Din Djarin in a fight.
So you're saying Boba Fett for sure.
Yes, Boba Fett for sure.
I think Jango's a contender.
Well, yeah, Jango Fett and Boba Fett are basically equal. Some people like Jango even more than Boba Fett. Boba Fett.
I really like Jango. I feel like Jango overall is underrated just because you see him get his tail handed to him. But he's the most martially advanced Jedi alive at the time. So the fact that he even lasted as long as he did, pretty impressive.
Think of it this way: Sidious needed someone that he knew could kill Jedi, so they cloned Jango Fett. They didn't clone.
Well, you think about it.
Cad Bane.
He's even more bad in the comics where he has this whole background of Dooku scouring the galaxy for the coolest dude to replicate 1 billion times, and he lands on Jango Fett. Cool lore.
Jango Fett, Boba Fett, Cad Bane, Black Chrysanthemum.
Oh, deep cut.
You don't think that Black Chrysanthemum would mop the floor with Din Djarin? He's a Wookiee with an attitude.
I'm not. You're so contentious today. I'm on your side.
No, I know. I'm not contentious. I'm passionate about Black Chrysanthemum.
I understand.
You can't blame me.
I understand. I'm not mad at you.
He's a mad claw. He's literally used his claws.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. He's a cool guy. He's a cool guy.
We've never seen a Wookiee do that before.
He's big, even amongst the Wookiees. I get it. Cool dude. Cool dude.
So that's 4.
Yeah. Real talk.
Bosk.
I was about to say, not just because I'm biased because he was my favorite since I was a child. I think Bosk is pretty.
Bosk, obviously.
Bosk is pretty nasty.
Yeah. Bosk is freaking. We've not seen Prime Bosk. Let's be clear.
No, I don't think we have.
We've not gotten to see Prime Bosk.
Bosk is pretty thug.
Okay. So that's okay. So Bosk, Boba, Jango, Cad Bane, Black Chrysanthemum. That's 5, right? Dirge.
Are we counting Dirge?
Yeah.
He's legend still, isn't he?
He's in canon now.
Oh, is he?
He's in comics and stuff.
Well, if we're saying that, Dirge is freaking immortal.
Yeah. So you got Dirge.
The impossible to kill Dirge. You think Embo could take Mando?
Yes, 100%.
He's pretty sick.
He's freaking sick.
He's freaking sick. I don't know if you've watched this particular episode. First of all, he pulls one over on Anakin. Granted, Anakin's very emotionally charged, but he manages to so effectively direct him that Palpatine says, I think your mission was a success. Huge praise from Palpatine. I think that's the only person that Palpatine directly gives any good advice or feedback to, maybe in the entirety of the Clone Wars. Manages to stay alive the whole time. Misses so deceivingly that they thought that they were real attempts, but he's missing his shots on purpose.
Yep.
That takes a lot of talent.
The one shot that he takes on purpose, he kills the girl.
Yeah. And that is to effectively implicate Padme in a conspiracy with the banking clan.
Was the one that did the thing.
Fantastic. And he's absolutely shredding on his helmet while taking baller shots.
Yes.
Dude, he's got a cool dog. He's got a cool hat. What's not to love about Embo? I could go on and I get Dave's passion about Embo.
Yeah. in this episode, just kind of giving you we went back, we just wanted to watch something cool that had Embo in it, just because we want to talk about Embo and different bounty hunters and stuff. We talked about Din Darin way more than we should have, but
well, we're talking about Embo because he's being revitalized via the Mandalorian and Grogu film.
Yeah.
So I think it's an appropriate course of discussion. He's been in the background the whole time.
Yeah,
So you know who's in our heart.
Yeah. In this episode, Padme is sent to the planet Scipio,
which is supposed to be the neutral zone, somewhat controlled by the banking clan, who is really not that neutral.
Yeah. So here's the weird part: is that it's master manipulation from Palpatine, because destabilizing the banking system, which is information that he needs to get back to the Republic.
Mm-hmm.
So he sends the most tenacious senator and Padme, knowing that she's going to get out of there safely because Anakin's going to go.
Who, by the way, smuggled an illegal firearm into the neutral zone.
Correct. So
Very Padme behaviors.
He sends Padme to go work on getting some funds from the banking clan, who's playing both sides of the war. I'm a little bit cloudy on this one because by episode 2, the banking clan is like a known affiliate of the Trade Federation. I mean, I'm sorry, of the Separatists.
I think the thing is
they have all the money.
Well, they have all the money, and very much like the Trade Federation, they've managed to, I think, stay just outside and Palpatine obviously has a big part to play in this, but they've stayed kind of outside the direct line of, hey, you're a nasty separatist. You
think so? I feel like they knew.
Well, I think that it's apparent that they're doing dealings with the separatists, but in the way that they're also doing dealings with the Republic, and the separatists could stop doing business with them on those grounds.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're just both like, hey, a loan's a loan. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's weird because like there
are whole story arcs like in the Rhodian, like pseudo uncle to Padme senator story arc where the banking clan, and it's weird to me again that the banking clan and the Trade Federation both have representatives in the formal government of the Republic.
Mm-hmm.
Weird. But they've got seats in the Senate, you know what I mean? So it's like, even though they're kind of playing the fence, they've both got representation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think while you're like, weird that they're still friends with the separatist funders, but at the same time, who else are they going to get money from?
Right. Yeah. The thing that's weird is like, okay, the U.S. government gets involved in a war. The U.S. government is also in charge of making our own money.
Here's the thing:
the banking clan is like a third party that funds the Republic.
Here's a real life example of something like this happening. So it's not too out of space. Greenland afraid that the U.S. is going to invade, so they ask the United States for financial assistance. Hilarious.
Greenland is afraid the United States is going to invade, so they ask the United States for
financial assistance to fund their military to
defend them from us.
Yes.
They're asking us for money to defend them from us.
Yes, that's a real thing that happened.
Oh, wow.
It started as a Babylon Bee article, which was a funny meme, and then it happened in real life, which happens way too often.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It's kind of a funny real life
example.
Yeah.
So, long story short, the Padme goes and Senator Rush Clovis, who is like anti-Anakin, is trying to explain
pretty
to
crazy
her,
to look Anakin in his eyes and call him a pilot.
Yeah.
That's such a reductive title for everything that Anakin does.
Yeah, the fact that he calls him a pilot and like just stares at him in the face as if Anakin didn't like totally hand his butt to him. Like
it was
not that long ago.
Not even close, dude.
So she goes
That's
there,
like me talking crap directly to John Jones.
Yeah.
Like
he beat you up the first time.
There's not a snowball's chance in hell I come out anything but dead in that altercation. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So basically Clovis tells Padme the reason that they're slow walking the funds for the Republic is because there are no funds.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll take you, what we need you to, as a sign of good faith, demand to see the vaults.
Mm-hmm.
And when we go in there, basically they hatch this plan that while they're in the vaults, they will disrupt the power to the vaults so that she has a chance to basically put a hard drive in the side of the wall and take all of their information.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And it's interesting because when Clovis is talking to Padme, Embo misses by a hair on purpose, which opens the door for her to
It
say,
kind
I
of
demand to see
gives-
the vault because I don't feel like I'm protected here. I don't feel like you have my best goodwill at heart.
Yeah.
And so that forces the banking clan to allow her into the vault. So you think, oh man, Embo missed, but you realize as the episode's going on, he missed on purpose, but close enough that
and
it's a real threat.
It's kind of one of the more surprising things that like Clone Wars, because it's mostly children's show, has a lot of predictability to it. It's one of the more unpredictable things that happens, that Padme and Clovis and Anakin get away, and Embo pulls up, and you think, oh my God, Palpatine's about to force choke him across the galaxy, and he's like, hey, good job.
It's exactly what we needed.
Yeah. And so
because what happens,
you have to believe that Embo's role is to give more credibility to Clovis's claims.
Everything going on.
Right.
Yep.
You would think, they wouldn't try to kill this guy if he wasn't telling the truth.
Right. Oh, the banking clan must be the one, or the separatists must be the one.
Right.
Which it's Sidious pulling the strings, pushing Clovis, Anakin, and Padme off planet so that the information does get back, because that information is one of the legs that ends up pushing the emergency powers and all of the financial decisions being given to Palpatine in Revenge of the Sith.
Right.
So it was just a really cool reminder of how cool Embo is.
Yeah.
And
I mean, you gotta give credit where credit's
he's supposed
due.
to miss, and then the one shot that he's supposed to take, he freaking nails from super far away and kills the Padme's handmaiden.
Thinking about it from the Palpatine perspective, which would be a fun little news headlines, like the Palpatine perspective. News from the only informed person in the galaxy. He has to find one person that he trusts to carry this out flawlessly, and he chooses Embo. Pretty high praise.
Pretty high praise.
Pretty high praise.
Because it's the mission results in things changing drastically during the war.
Yeah.
Like the emergency powers that we see extended further to Palpatine in episode 3 are a result of him trusting Embo to miss the shots he's supposed to miss by a hair and make the shots he's supposed to make and force. And he's got to be a good enough fighter that Anakin can't just kill him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or at least smart enough to know how to stay out of harm's direct way.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Very fun episode, which is it's in season 6. It's called An Old Friend.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for a little refresher, there's several episodes during the Clone Wars where Embo shows up, but this is a really fun one where he's not part of a crew. It's just him.
Yeah.
Which is pretty fun.
Are we counting Asajj as as a bounty hunter for the intents and purposes of being able to defeat Mando?
Yes.
Okay. She's for sure on the list.
Okay. So
how
back to the list.
How do you feel about Aura Singh?
No.
No?
No.
I didn't think so either.
I don't think so.
I think she's crafty. I think even just for the sake of the armor, Mando has the up.
Right. Boba, Jango, Boss, Cad Bane, Black Chrysanthemum.
I think Asajj needs more credit martially. She's a
Ventress.
very strong fighter.
We said Dirge.
Yeah, Dirge for sure.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We need 3 more.
Let's hear them.
Okay. So let's see. Do you think that... Oh, Embo's obviously on the list.
Yeah, Embo's on there.
So that's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So Boba Fett, Jango Fett, Boss, Cad Bane, Black Chrysanthemum, Ventress, Dirge, and Embo. That's 8. Can you think of anybody else? There are other bounty hunters that I like that I just don't know if they're good enough to beat Mando. He's great. I just don't think that he's the best in the world.
In his area, he's obviously the dominant bounty hunter. So credit where credit's due. He's the one taking all the high dollar, prizes. What's interesting is he doesn't seem to have very steep competition. So you have to think he's in a pretty weak part of the galaxy, bounty hunters wise. You know what I mean? Because he's fighting against a bunch of no names.
Yeah. You have guys like 4LOM and Zuckuss. We don't really have that much screen time with them.
I do not think 4LOM and Zuckuss have it over Mando, I'll be honest with you.
Okay, what about Dengar? I'm a Dengar fan
I don't
myself.
think so, dude.
No?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think Dengar is like a really nice guy. He's the personality hire for me.
You think so?
I don't think I haven't really seen anything that impressive from Dengar, except for the fact that he manages to become an android and become a bartender in episode
Rothgar
8.
Okay, just in case we forget anybody, I'm gonna bring up some options.
I'm trying to think through all the people on deck.
What about
in Empire.
IG-88?
No, I don't think IG-88 has it.
Really?
Because I think IG-88 has to be comparable to IG-11, and IG-11 gets smacked a little bit. I mean, I know he gets like bum rushed, but
IG-88's pretty bad to the bone, dude. I don't know.
I get it.
I'll give it to you.
I mean, you have to assume he has the exact same programming as IG-11, right?
I think 88's to me is a level above 11.
But like,
just
is that? Yeah, I feel like that's maybe just a feeling more than anything that we
I
have
have
based on.
more experience with him from back in the day.
Right.
Okay, so you're saying not IG-88. You're saying.
I mean, is that a fair like?
I can
level
I can
of reasoning.
I can
You know what I
jive with
mean?
that. Yeah. Okay, let's look. So the 6 that are on the bridge of the Star Destroyer in episode 5 are
Mhm.
Dengar, IG-88, Boba, Bosk, 4LOM, and Zuckuss.
Okay.
You're saying not Dengar, IG, 4LOM, or
I think
Zuckuss.
I think
Boba and
Bosk and
Bosk
Boba.
make the cut. Dirge obviously is one of our faves. Embo's on there. Let's see. Zam Wessel?
No.
I'm just kidding.
I think
just
he's
kidding.
a she.
I think she's a changeling.
No, I don't think Zam's on the list.
Let's
Ugh.
see. There's a character called High Singer, which is a really, really cool bounty hunter, but we just don't know that much about him.
Is he a
it's-
meth dealer?
No, but there's not enough context there, and you don't know who that is, so it's hard for us to both make a decision on that one.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we're tapped out at 8.
Maybe we're tapped out at 8. It's still a pretty good number.
Valance is a good one, but you don't know that much about Valance. General Grievous.
Do we consider
kidding.
him?
He's
Okay,
not-
I was about to say, I don't think we consider him a bounty hunter. I don't
Let's
think so.
see.
What about the little parasites that go into Padme's quarters?
Oof. The millipede guys?
Yeah.
Yikes. What about Greedo?
Dude, absolutely not.
No?
Absolutely not.
Okay,
Absolutely
I thought
not,
Greedo
Greedo.
would be a good one.
No. Greedo's a little slime ball, dude.
Yeah, if I'm not going to give it to
Dude,
freaking-
Greedo is such a
if
buffoon.
I'm not going to give it to Oracine, I can't give it to Greedo.
Greedo's like the Steve Buscemi of like the Bounty Hunters Guild. He's not
the
getting
Steve
hired.
Buscemi, dang.
Can you name a more accurate comparison?
You know who I think maybe, I don't really know if he's considered a bounty hunter, but somebody that I'm a big fan of.
Undercover Obi-Wan?
Well, I was going to say Undercover Obi-Wan, but
I don't think we count that.
I
Because at the end of the day, it's still Obi-Wan.
don't know if he's I don't know if I would consider him a bounty hunter. He basically is a Sith cultist, but Ochi of Bestoon is a freaking cool character.
That's interesting.
If you had to like, if there's a faction that he would have to align with, it'd have to be Sith because he's like a Sith
Right.
occultist, like a Sith radical kind of.
That's an interesting thought.
But Ochi of Bestoon is pretty bad to the bone, dude.
He's pretty thug.
I mean, he's the one that Sidious hired to kill Rey's parents.
Yeah. Again, a direct hire from Palpatine. Hard to argue with that.
In Legends, there's a Wookiee bounty hunter named Snuva.
Okay.
I think he would take him. He's sick. He's a Wookiee with a freaking flat top. You ever seen that character?
You know, I've seen Avatar.
He's got a freaking bionic eye.
Is that Mad Eye Moody in the Star Wars universe?
This is way before Mad Eye Moody. Way cooler than Mad Eye Moody, even though Mad Eye Moody is pretty cool.
Mad Eye Moody's pretty cool. I think Mad Eye Moody could take Mando.
Well, yeah. I know I'm missing some from the comics, but then again, we're getting into deeper water there where, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like at one point in time, do you consider Quinlan Voss a bounty hunter?
Is he a bounty hunter?
I don't know. He kind of goes off the rails a little bit. And I mean, you get Dark Disciple, but then you also kind of have him when he's got amnesia and he's working with Villy
So
in the Legends comics. Are you familiar with that storyline?
yes, Quinlan Voss obviously mops the floor with Din Djarin. To that point, okay, I'll let you do a little bit of guessing. It's going to be hard. I don't think you're going to get there, but I'll try it. A favorite of mine. He's Legends.
Okay.
Lando
Calrissian.
Jedi that goes dark.
Okay.
That for a very short time after Order 66 was a bounty hunter.
Jedi that goes dark in Legends.
Like I'm a huge fan of this character.
Trying to remember any Legends Jedis that survive, you know. I don't know. Hit me with it.
Okay. Darth Krayt.
Oh, okay.
So
okay,
you know,
I'm with you.
Asherat Het when
I'm
Obi-Wan banishes
I
him from Tatooine after the fight after Order 66, he's a bounty hunter for a short time.
Yeah.
He obviously wins.
Yeah, Asherat Het, I think he has it.
I would take
Mara Jade. She's kind of a bounty hunter.
I would take
Talon Card.
Maybe not Talon Card. He's more smoothie than good fighter.
Dude, he's so clever though.
He is very clever. What about okay, maybe not bounty hunter, but they work for money. Hunter from the Bad Batch.
Oh.
Write it down.
Okay.
And if Hunter, then Wrecker. And if Wrecker, Crosshair. Would you take Crosshair over
I don't
Mando?
think so.
Really?
I mean, I get that he's basically like the dead shot of Star Wars, but
ooh, that's a toughie for me to that's a tough pill for me to swallow there. You would take Mandalorian in a one-on-one match against Crosshair. I mean, Darksaber obviously makes a huge difference.
There's a lot to be said for the armor.
If you don't, yeah, that's fair. If you don't,
I never ever saw Crosshair evaporate someone.
But he would.
I believe he would. I believe he has the capacity inside of his heart. He's got a lot of hate in his heart, Crosshair does. Obviously Tech.
I wouldn't take not Tech. But Wrecker.
I think Wrecker is too dumb to do it by himself. I think he's too dumb, dude.
All he has to do is get a hold of him. He's like the Hulk.
I get that he's really strong, but
okay, so you're not saying
you're basically like
you're saying not Wrecker. What about but on a real note, what about Hunter? He's Jango Fett with like enhanced senses.
Here's the thing, though. Jango Fett has Mandalorian armor. And I think that levels the playing field a lot. There is such an advantage to having the Beskar.
The Beskar is a big deal.
It's a huge advantage.
I think I'm taking Hunter, dude.
Interesting pick.
I'm thinking Hunter.
What do you think, Embo?
What do you think? That is a toughie, dude. That is a toughie.
He said, where can I get more two-sided bullets for my bandolier? That's what he's thinking. Look at that. He's got bullets on both ends of that.
There's so many legends. Reiko Hardin is obviously really cool. That's the guy that Obi-Wan becomes. There's a lot of legends characters that obviously we can't.
Yeah, I think we got to keep those off the table.
2 billion people. Like you could have all of the old Mandalorians from like way back in the day that basically count.
Why not Darth Revan?
He's not I want to make sure I'm not forgetting like a really like blatant one.
Does Revan have a Sith name?
Just Darth Revan.
Pretty cool. The Sith so nice they named him twice.
Yeah, there's not there's not a specific name that's given to him. Doesn't get like a
You know what I mean?
Sidious.
He doesn't get rebranded.
I think we maybe ran out.
Yeah, I think as far as ones I know off the dome that are in canon materials, pretty good list.
Okay, so Jango, Boss, Cad Bane, Black Chrysanthemum, Ventress, Dirge, Embo, Hunter. That's 8. No, it's 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Boba, Jango, Boss, Cad Bane, Black Chrysanthemum, Ventress, Dirge, Embo, Hunter. I really want a 10th character. Oh, I obviously believe that freaking I obviously believe that Darth Krayt would take him. But
Yeah,
that's
I
not
feel like
canon.
that's kind of a gimme.
Kind of a gimme.
It's a low hanging fruit there.
Let's see if I do just canon.
Say, a Sith Lord who's also half sand people.
Yeah, all the best.
Just absolutely unbridled rage.
Yep. I'm trying to see if I can find one more that I think is close in canon. I don't know. I think.
What do you guys think?
I think Dengar's a pretty.
I
good
really do not
one.
think Dengar's a contender. I'll be completely honest with you.
I think IG-88 is closer than Dengar.
I think probably closer than Dengar, but
is the
one I have to believe logically that he has the exact same programming as IG-11.
They broke out of their training at some point, right?
IG-11 never did. I don't know if there's any.
88 did for sure.
But I mean, you know what I mean? He's running on the same software hardware.
What about a Monomon?
A Monomon.
You remember that guy?
Nope.
This freaking psycho guy?
I know nothing about him. Looks like a salamander that had a mother with a flounder. I don't know.
So, anyways, I think that Star Wars characters based on like their screen time and their all that kind of stuff. Din Djarin's definitely on the Mount Rushmore of bounty hunters.
Yeah,
it's Boba, Jango, Cad Bane, Din Djarin.
He's up there. I mean, he's
top 4.
You know,
as far as Star Wars characters go.
Yeah, I mean,
would you agree?
He's the character of the show for a reason, right?
Yeah.
He's the top guy in his circle. There's no, I mean, credit where credit's due.
Do you think that, as we kind of wind this down, obviously, do you think that Embo and Mandalorian, it looks like in that scene,
do you think he's a villain or do you think he's helping?
Well, the rumor was that he's like one of the main antagonists, if not the main antagonist.
Which is hard for me to believe because I don't know who's footing the bill because Embo's not doing this for free. Correct.
So here's my thought. In the Aftermath trilogy, which is 5 years after the Battle of Endor.
Yeah, World War III, the Aftermath.
This is going to be, the movie's going to be like 3 or 4 years after that, I want to say.
Okay.
So we're like basically 10 years post Return of the Jedi, give or take.
Okay.
In 5, after the Battle of Endor, at the Battle of Jakku, he has the chance to work this bounty. He decides not to. In return, the New Republic gives him a handsome sum of money, and they also pardon him of all crimes of which he's currently got warrants out.
Awfully nice.
Like that. So he's got a clean bill of health. He's got a clean slate. I think that you've got the New Republic, and then you've got the Imperial Remnant, and then the Hutts play into this somehow. One thing I've been seeing a lot online is that people think that the twins that are from the Book of Boba Fett are actually trying to get Rada the Hutt killed because he would be the natural heir to Jabba's throne.
Okay.
Not necessarily his physical throne on Tatooine, because that's where Boba is now, but his empire.
Right.
And the head of the Hutt cartels. So the twins are going to hire Rada to be killed, whether that's by Embo or they put him in that's why he's in the arena. You know, he's fighting for his life or whatever. Maybe Rada's not in there of his own accord. Maybe he's been taken there. And so I think Embo, the rumor is he's the antagonist, but even if he starts off the antagonist, I think we'll see him end up like back to back with Mando.
We've never seen Embo do anything because he wants to.
It's always for money.
Like, I feel I've seen just about every other bounty hunter take initiative on something. Embo's the only guy I think I've seen that hasn't made any
He's
moral
true to the
decisions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's hard for me to anticipate what he might do because whatever he's doing it for money.
Yeah. I did see I was watching another Star Wars podcast, and they had talked about this.
Do you agree with that analysis?
Yeah. I've never seen. The thing is, Embo doesn't speak English, so it's like you can't really build on the character too much because he's not very relatable because he has to speak in real short terms because everything he says has to be transcribed. I think maybe he'll either have very little lines or they'll let him speak basic in the movie. And so I agree. I think he's very like all business. I guess Cad Bane's all business.
Yeah, but who's he working for in Book of Boba Fett? He's just kind of doing his own thing at that point.
No, he's working for the Pikes. As
Yes.
long as the spice keeps flowing, nobody needs to get hurt.
Yeah, okay.
He's 100% working for the Pikes.
Yeah, but I feel like it's personal too for him. He's enjoying it.
I think he went in there and took out Cobb Vanth, and Boba happened to just be there. He's just there working for the Pikes. I don't think that he has a personal vendetta against Boba.
You don't think so?
No. Cad Bane is very like emotionless. Like
I would agree with you until we had the Tales of the Underworld.
Oh well, yeah, but I think that's like
I mean, that's
like
young.
50 years
Yeah,
ago or something.
that's young Cad Bane, but still, you know what I mean?
Man, we should do an episode about Tales of the Underworld. So good.
It was really good.
But the thing that I see with Cad Bane is it's not personal against Boba, but he's like, you're not better than me.
Yeah,
You know?
I
You're
think
a cold-blooded killer that worked for the Empire.
I mean he's the Rattlesnake Jake of Star Wars. You know what I mean? In that series,
He's the what?
Rattlesnake Jake
Oh yes.
from Rango.
Where do you think I come from?
You got killer in your eyes, son.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it.
He's like the last of a dying breed.
Yeah, but I think for sure there is an undercurrent of who's better.
Boba or Cad Bane?
Yeah, I think there's definitely some reputation on the line for
I can
Cad.
see that.
You know, I think it's definitely more
Do
personal.
you think Cad's still alive?
Who freaking knows at this point?
Do you think because Din Djarin came to help Boba Fett in the Book of Boba, do you think that we'll see Boba Fett or Cobb Vanth make an appearance in the Mandalorian and Grogu?
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Well, Cobb Vanth is like dead, isn't he?
No, he's in that Bacta chamber, remember?
Oh yeah.
He's in Boba Fett's Bacta chamber.
I hate that. Just let somebody die.
No one dies.
Just let somebody die.
As we wrap it up, I will say the grittiness you're looking for, we'll get that in the Darth Maul show.
I sure hope so.
I know it's a cartoon, but I think it's going to be heavier and grittier.
I don't even have prejudice against the cartoons because the heaviest Star Wars we've ever gotten has been in the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And Rebels and all
Yeah.
that. Yep. I think the Darth Maul
Clone
show
Wars
will
way
be,
more than Rebels. IMO.
when it comes to heaviness
Yeah.
or depth.
Yes. I think we've seen much darker things in the Clone Wars, and I think we've
maybe
gotten a lot-
darker. Yeah, depth. There's some. I don't know, man. There's some.
The thing
deep
is,
depths and
I mean, they approach big subjects, but I feel like the resolution is never as satisfying because we've had this conversation in the past, but I feel like Rebels does max 3 episode story arcs and Clone Wars will do 5-6 episode story arcs. I feel like the resolution to
maybe
me
there's
much
one or
more
two
satisfying.
story arcs that are that long in Clone Wars, but the vast majority of them are
But you get what I'm saying,
2
though?
or 3.
You get what I'm saying? You know where I'm coming from? You smell what I'm stepping in?
Kind of. Rebels does a better job than Clone Wars of it being like one ongoing thing because it's not a war that's on several fronts. You know what I mean?
I guess so.
You're with the same crew and their character development over the course of getting involved with the war.
I just never saw a whale or a Bendu have to get involved to resolve the story in the Clone Wars.
What do you mean? I mean,
I just feel like there's always
pretty fantastic.
I get that it's cool, but I feel like it's kind of an interruption in the overall conflict because it's just this tertiary involvement.
Well, yeah, the Clone Wars gets the benefit of the Clone Wars is like the ultimate sandbox. show. You could do Clone Wars for 30 seasons because there are millions of clone troopers on
Yeah.
hundreds of planets fighting battles, and you have 10,000 Jedi spread across the galaxy.
Right. But I
And you
feel
have
like
a great starting point, and you have a great stopping point. You know like you know what I mean?
I don't know. To me, the depth is always much greater in the Clone Wars than Rebels, personally speaking.
No, I understand. When you say depth, are you thinking of a specific character's development, or are you speaking of like just the stories themselves?
I think the stories themselves, the characters that are in the Clone Wars, I feel like is a little bit of an unfair comparison because we already had a lot of them
Sith, yeah,
involved in episodes 1 through 3. We see a huge development from Ahsoka, but obviously that's over the course of like 8 seasons. So,
right.
A little bit of a miscomparison there, but I feel like I don't know. I just always feel more satisfied when a story arc comes to close in the Clone Wars than I do when a story arc comes to close in Rebels. I don't ever feel cheated in the Clone Wars.
I understand your point. I think I would take, as far as relationship to the Force, coming to peace with oneself, developing and becoming like basically the perfect Jedi. I think that Kanan is like light years ahead of Ahsoka's development.
I'm not arguing that. However, let's just get a TV show about Obi-Wan or Qui-Gon.
We had an Obi-Wan TV show.
No, I mean like an animated where it's like his whole life. Because we could call the Obi-Wan series the little Leia series.
Yeah, definitely. I think, you know what
I mean, though?
Yeah, the fact that the Tales of the Jedi series and stuff are these little tiny shorts.
Yeah.
I felt
we get all this stuff in, novels and stuff.
I don't have any ill will towards Ahsoka. I will say I feel like if you have 6 episodes and they're going to be like 10 minutes each max, and there's 2 stories you get to tell the way that they've set it up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's on Disney Plus, so they could be like, Tales of the Droids is going to be 24 episodes, but it's been 6, 2 stories each. I feel like the choices they've made of some of these characters of who's going to be the focal point is so weird. Like,
some of them are a little peculiar.
Point being, Tales of the Jedi, you get Dooku.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
Pretty sick, yeah.
Great depth. Great character development.
Dooku, I think, to me, is the number one most redeemed character in Star Wars
stuff.
From animation and books, from where I felt about them 10 years ago.
When you say how you felt about them, like couldn't care less?
I hated Dooku. I couldn't stand him, thought his character was obnoxious because he's got this basically aloof above it all, not really pulling the strings because he's just answering to Palpatine. But he, from the point of the novel to, like what they did with him in Tales of the Jedi, I feel like he's become such a rich character.
He's such a rich character, and there's I feel like his life, I think you can
approach the story from his perspective a lot better.
Yes. Him and Maul.
Yeah.
Maul was just an animal.
Yeah.
And same with the other day, they were like, people were kind of questioning, like, how does he run these criminal enterprises and do this? And he's like, don't you think that Darth Sidious would have chosen someone who could make
very
decisions?
Calculating? Yeah.
Like,
I think
the way he broke it down was like, why are you shocked that Maul is clever?
Well, he was at one point the heir to the entire legacy of the Sith.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And chosen to be so. He wasn't, I don't think Palpatine ever selected Maul for the purposes of throwing away. He put him up against a test. He failed. He moved on.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. In Tales of the Jedi, Dooku is like, you've done too much.
Yeah.
You allowed Qui-Gon to be killed. And Sidious says, you lost an apprentice, so did I.
Yeah. Which is
pretty, it's like for a split second, you get the fondness that he had for Maul at one point.
Yeah.
But kind of back to my point about the Tales of the Jedi, we're all over the place, but it's whatever.
I don't care.
We get so much Ahsoka.
Where does he live?
I don't know. Actually, where does he live? What's cool is there's a little piece of lore. I don't remember where it comes from. I saw it from another podcast, Determined Focus podcast. They're great guys. they read something, I don't know where they saw it from, but Embo, after the money dries up from the New Republic, he goes and buys land and starts a farm on Felucia.
It's pretty cool.
So we may get Felucia in live action. We're gonna get Nar Shaddaa in live action, probably. Okay, but I was gonna say, Tales of the Jedi. You got Dooku, which is great, and then you had Ahsoka, which I felt like I like Ahsoka, but
I feel like it was a wasted opportunity, to be honest.
Could you give me 3 Qui-Gons? Could you give me 3 Mace Windus? Could you give me 3 Obi-Wans? Could you give me, if I guess Obi-Wan it's defeating because for the same point I just made about Ahsoka. So give me 3 Qui-Gons, give me 3 Mace Windus, give me 3 Quinlan Vosses after the fall of the Jedi, you know? Show the story of him creating the path for the Jedi to escape.
Yeah.
You know?
I hope that's still on the table moving forward.
Tales of the freaking Empire was Barriss and freaking
huge waste.
Elsbeth.
Yeah.
The coolest part of Tales of the Empire was getting to see Grievous and Thrawn for 3 seconds each. I'm very hopeful to see what this Inquisitor that they've brought back from the dead, the crow looking character.
Yeah.
He's freaking like, he may have one of the coolest designs. He has a very Nihilus vibe to him.
Yeah, I could see that. Very cool, very cool. There are things conceptually that are cool where I'm like, I get it. At the same time, there are things I value more.
Yeah. Tales of the Inquisitors would be dope. Like, show me.
I wouldn't mind seeing like
the Grand Inquisitor as he's being like kind of courted by, whether it's Palpatine or obviously it's not Vader.
I think we get a lot of stuff from the now canon Vader comics where he's kind of interacting with the Inquisitors, and we get some of the background in the Jedi video games, where he's fighting Inquisitors, and you get to see the Inquisitor's palace. And but I would like to see it where we're not having to really interact with the material as much. You know what I mean? To get, I think, a more rich story on the Inquisitors.
Like if it could be Tales of the Inquisitors, you could show me who the bird guy is or whatever. And then, 3 that just comes off the top of my head that would be amazing would be, because they're in these 3 snippets, right? So you could just show me the Inquisitor kind of teetering on the dark as a Jedi Temple guard, right? And then show me him in the temple killing Jedi, because I didn't even think about this. For instance, the Grand Inquisitor, he was basically turned by the time Order 66 took place, and those guards that were turned, obviously the Grand Inquisitor as a strong case in point, he would have basically lowered the security for Anakin and the clones to come in. Like his betrayal was the same time as Anakin's. So show me that. That would be fantastic. Show me.
Even if we could have gotten that in the Clone Wars where we see Order 66 like simulcast in animation. How sick would that have been? Just like a little, even 2 or 3 seconds.
Tales of the Bounty Hunters. Yeah. There's so many that you could do. But anyways.
Money's on the table, Disney.
We're excited
I have no shortage of ideas.
We're excited for Embo. I wonder if they're going to touch on the subject, because in the books, his dog dies.
Oh.
But there's a dog with him in the trailer. So I wonder if that's
you can always buy another dog.
Yeah. And what's funny enough, I talked about this in one of my group chats on Instagram. The dog's name is Marok, which is the same name as that one Inquisitor from the Maul trailer that says the Emperor wants him dead. We're obsessed with that name. But anyways, thank you guys for chopping it up with us. Obviously, we're excited. Lots of stuff about Din Djarin, the Mandalorian, the trailer, talking about how fantastic of a bounty hunter Embo is. We got it up to
He's pretty great.
Maybe 9 characters that are in that bounty hunter sphere that we think could take Din Djarin in a one-on-one. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Am I way off base saying that?
Just be chill.
Just be chill about it.
Just be chill about it. We're just fans.
We're just screwing around. Thank you guys for tuning in. Remember to like this video, subscribe, send it to your friends and family. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok. And remember, the Force will be with you always.
And also remember, the only family you have here is me.
We'll see you next time.